Hello everybody, this is Justina with JustynaTHandMade. In this quick video, I'm going to show you how to create a zipper patch using my favorite method. This method requires only basically 2 cuts of fabric and maybe interfacing if you are opting in to interface your fabric, but that's it. And also it eliminates the side seam on the front of your pouch, so you don't have to worry about matching up the seams perfectly and having the extra fabric of the seam allowances bunching up in your most visible place. As you can see, this pouch is created with a continuous zipper, so I would recommend to create 2 pouches at the time, since you're going to be using just one part of the zipper tape. This way you're going to be using up your zipper tape, both sides of it, and you're going to end up with 2 cute zipper pouches. Also in this video, I'm going to show you how to create this zipper end. You can add a ready-made metal zipper end, but if you don't have one, or you just want to create this grabby little top, you can just follow the method I walk you through in the video. This pattern, it's a free pattern. Really, it can be customized to your desired size. The cuts that I'm using in this video, the measurement for it gonna be provided in the description below. You don't have to be writing anything down. You can just go back, extend the description below, and all your measurements will be provided there. If you decide to create one of those pouches or the pair, please make sure to share it with me and our group members on Facebook. And if you are on Instagram, please tag me in your Instagram post. I would love to see your creations. Also, if you are not yet a subscriber to my channel, please make sure to subscribe, and if you do enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet a member of my Facebook group, please make sure to join it. In the Facebook group, you're going to have access to some free patterns. There are going to be available discounts, and you're going to be always notified about new upcoming patterns, and have direct access to myself if you ever need any help or have any questions. If you have any questions regarding this video and the supplies I'm using, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to respond to every comment there is as soon as I'm being notified there is one. And now, if you want to see how fast this little cutie comes together and how easy it is to achieve this nice clean look, please keep watching. To start our project, we're just gonna prep our pattern pieces. Like I said, this is a super quick project. I think the quickest way you can create a cute little zipper pouch when you are in a crunch, and maybe you need one, or maybe you need a quick gift for somebody. All our cuts are the same size, so you're gonna cut the outer fabric, and you can cut the interfacing, which could be exactly the same size. The measurements for all the cuts are listed below. Then you're gonna have a lining that's exactly the same size. You're gonna have a zipper, but that's only one half of a zipper tape. We're gonna use a little scrap of vinyl for our zipper top, and we're gonna have a zipper pull. I customized this one to match my fabric with a little butterfly. Also, I'm gonna add my back tack, and to do that I'm gonna use some rivets, but this is depending on if you even want to add a back tack, or if your back tack is made to be added with rivets. This is all the supplies needed to complete the project. We obviously will need some threads to sew it on a sewing machine. I'm gonna be using some clips to just help me through the sewing process. So after we have our 2 fabric cuts prepped, and if you are using something like woven cotton that doesn't really have a lot of body, you can interface it like I did with the SF 101 or Sewfuse. And now we're gonna get into the assembly of our pouch. So you're gonna put all the stuff on the side. First, you're gonna grab your outer fabric and just place it flat, right side up. You want to make sure, if you're using a directional fabric like I am, that it's positioned this way, so you are looking at it in the correct top to bottom position. Mark your center. And you can take your zipper tape and also mark the center. Place the zipper tape wrong side up, matching the center points, and secure with clips. On each side of our panel, we want to mark an 1.25 inch mark from the side. Because we want to make sure that we're not gonna sew the zipper tape on all the way through. We're gonna slip the zipper tape on each end to have free zipper tails. So after you mark it, you can just pin it on. It's just easier to do it with a pin, so you can still slip the tail off and just continue sewing. When you have your panel prepped like this, take it to the machine and baste the zipper on with the 1/8 inch seam allowance and 2.5 stitch length. Now that we have the zipper base to the top edge, we're gonna take our lining and making sure the lining aligns with the main panel and that both are right sides together, we're gonna clip it along the top edge. Again, we want to mark where our zippers should slip, and this time, since we're going to be sewing to the end of the panel, you want to secure the zipper tail so it stays out of the way. And now that you have your project prepped like this, you're gonna take it back to the machine and you're gonna sew along the top edge with the 1/4 inch seam allowance and 2.5 stitch length, making sure you are keeping those zipper tails out of the way of the seam. Now that you have your lining attached, you can press it. I'm just gonna press the lining away from the zipper tape. I don't want to press it this way just yet. I did that, so I have a nice pressed seam to now sew my panels together. So you're gonna bring them up, making sure they are aligning at the point of the seam. You're gonna pin it or clip it together, and then you're gonna clip all the open edges. So you're gonna clip the side edge and the bottom edge in both lining and the outer. Now in the lining, we're gonna mark an opening that's gonna serve as our birding hole. So you wanna mark an opening that it's about 4 inches. And when you have your project prepped like this, you're gonna take it to the machine and you're gonna sew along this edges of the outer panel with the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance at 2.5 stitch length. When you're gonna when you're gonna transition to the lining, you're gonna start increasing the seam allowance slightly up to 1/2 inch, and then continue the seam to the point of the opening, back stitch, start the seam at 1/2 inch at the end of the opening, back stitch, and continue the seam to the left side. When you're sewing, just pay attention to the zippers and make sure that it's not going to be caught in the seam. Now that you have the sides and the bottom sewn and you left your opening for your turning hole, we're gonna box corners. This is optional. If you just want a flat pouch, you don't have to box the corners. If you want to give the pouch a little depth, you can box the corners, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a very small box corners, only 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna take my ruler and measuring from the seam line on the side when we have two seam lines, I'm gonna measure a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square. On the side, when we have folded fabric, we're gonna measure from the fold and from the seam line. I'm gonna repeat that on the outer fabric. So here again, I'm measuring from the fold and from the seam line. And here I'm measuring from seam line to seam line. Now that I have my corners marked, I'm gonna cut them out. Now they are all cut out, I'm gonna box them and clip them. So if you want to, you can just finger press the midpoint of the fold so you have a reference point, and align that with the bottom seam. And when you have all 4 corners clipped, you're gonna take it back to the machine and you're gonna sew all 4 corners with the 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and 2.5 stitch length, and make sure to back stitch well on the beginning and on the end of each seam. Now that our box corners are completed, we're gonna turn the project right side out. Now you can finger press the top seam in preparation for top stitching, or you can give it a quick press with the iron. When you have the project prepped like this, take it to the machine and top stitch all around the zipper seam with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that the project is top stitch all around, we're gonna close our lining. So you're gonna pull the lining out. You're gonna tag on the end of the opening, making sure your raw edges are folding nicely inside. And when you have that clipped, you're gonna take it to the machine and you're gonna top stitch along the opening with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 2.5 or 3.5 stitch length. You can decrease the seam allowance to 1/16 if that's something you are comfortable with. Just make sure you are catching both sides of the lining. Now that the lining is closed, we can pop it in back in our pouch. It's nice and snug. So now we're gonna add our finishing touches. I'm gonna add my back tag. My back tag is installed with the rivets, and I don't mind the rivets being on both sides of the pouch. If you don't like that, just make sure you're gonna attach a back tag before you finish your lining. But I actually like it this way. It just holds the lining nicely inside of the pouch. So I'm gonna install my back tag right now. After my back tag is attached, I'm gonna now insert my zipper pull. So you wanna fold the pouch and make sure you have it nice and straight, and align your zipper. Make sure your zipper is now nice and straight in a position where you have your other side of your pouch. And now we can finish up the tail of our zipper. So it's you can leave it longer, or you can make it shorter. I think I'm gonna trim it so the length of the zipper is about 1 inch. I'll take my little scrap of my vinyl that is prepped to be the end of my zipper. The size of the scrap is 1.25 inches by 1.5 inches. To help me install the zipper end, I'm gonna use some double-sided tape. Fold the zipper top in half, place it over the zipper, making sure it's nice and centered. And now you can take it to the machine and you can sew it on, or you can attach it with rivets, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna mark the placement of my rivets. Our zipper pouch is now completed. I hope you enjoyed this really quick tutorial, and I hope you're gonna give this method a try. If you do, please make sure to share your creation with me in the Facebook group or on Instagram. Links to both are in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber, and give the video a thumbs up. Till the next time.